Hey folks, it's Rob Oliveira. We're at my place and I'm going to show you how easy it is to build a kart in Modnation Racers. So let's give it a go. Let's go for a drive. Okay, we're in the mod studio right now. This is my character, Race Jimmy, that I built earlier, but we're going to build him a car. So we're just going to swing over to the kart studio and we're going to build a kart. So I'm going to hit X. We're going to start from scratch. So boom, we start with our kart frame. And if you wanted to, you can drive like this. Sometimes I do, just so I can see my character better. I'm a character guy, so I like to see my dude running around. So let's start with some bodies. Give you a ton of options, but the body is always the best place to start. So let's find, what do I feel like Race Jimmy would drive? I think something like this, something cool. So now we got a body we're happy with. So let's start messing with the colors. Here's all these colors that we suggest for you. For karts and our favorite colors right here. But at the top here, you're gonna see colors start to stack up all the time. The more you use colors, the more they kind of bubble to the top to make it easier for you to color coordinate if you want. And we even have a button that lets you coordinate. You can actually see it at the bottom of the screen called Match Color. So it's really cool. It's a really fast way to get your kart looking awesome. Your mom can build a great kart by pushing that button, which is always my standard. So we've chosen a color. Red is my favorite because it goes faster. Everybody knows that. So I'm going to mess with this a bit. Let's just bring it down a little bit darker, and then let's mess with the material properties. So here we've got a bunch of effects, like all of our parts in the game. You can mess with the, how metal it is, if it's rubber, if it's cloth. In this case for karts, we have what's called the candy coating, and that's how glossy it is, and how some cars have that secondary color in the paint job where it hits the light. So I'm going to crank the metal up a bit because I like it nice and shiny. So that's a little bit too much, so we're going to dial her down. So now we got a nice shiny metal car, which is good. And now that we've got our body, let's go pick some other parts. So let's get an engine in here. The old standard engine works just fine, but we've got lots of other cool engines. So we've got a bunch of standard engines here to choose from. Here's a nice little truck engine. And then we start to go to your fantasy engines that you have to unlock, like your battery pack or your rocket engine. Maybe you're a green person, so we've got a solar cell for you in here. If you're the exact opposite of green, we've got the nuclear engine. So it's basically up to you to create the kind of like crazy kart. And I think we even have a hamster wheel. So hopefully you don't find that too cruel, but this hamster goes really fast. I'm gonna go for the rocket powered engine. So there we go. We got a sweet jet engine in there. Kart's starting to come together. Now let's get some accessories. So again, we've broken it up into zones for you so you can just really get to where you need to go really fast. So I'm gonna get something on the hood. I'm gonna add an accessory, and then we've got all this great stuff for you. All these antennas, hood ornaments. Oops, I see a skull. I like skulls. So let's throw this around. So again, with all the parts on our game, you have all these options, your basic options and your advanced options. I'm just gonna mess with this slightly, so I didn't like the initial position. Now I got the skull exactly where I want it. I'm just gonna scroll over and make it a little bit bigger. It's a little more prominent. And there we go. Race Jimmy's got a sweet skull on his car. So let's go back. And again, you can add a lot of layers. You can just go nuts on here, and we can start adding parts on the side. We can go Road Warrior if we want. Let's give the other guys, other racers, something to think about. We're gonna go for some spikes on here. So, and then I can easily duplicate those. So I'm gonna put those all over this side of my car. So that's gonna make people think twice if they want to trade paint. So there we go. At any time we can go back and delete these layers, cut these layers, paste these layers. So if you've ever used any kind of layering based like art package, you'll be very familiar with this, very at home, and you can just go nuts with this. I can't wait to see what you guys do with this. So now we've got something we're getting closer to. I don't know if I would erase this yet. There's not enough spikes on it for me yet, but I'm gonna, in the interest of time, we're gonna go to the decal system, which is in paint. And again, here we have a lot of the same choices we had with the character. We have patterns and colors. We have decals or decals, as you folks in the States say. And we're gonna start adding some right here. So I'm gonna drop one down. And remember, if you've seen my last video, I put a skull tattoo on Race Jimmy, and he likes skulls a lot. So we're gonna put one right on the hood of his car. And again, I have all the same options as I do with most parts. Let's scale this up, nice and big. We can even go really nuts and make this the full-on skull car. Hey, actually, I kind of like that. So let's get that so I can actually see both sets of teeth. There we go. And that's looking pretty scary. So there we go. So if now we can go nuts. We can go nuts on every single side of this car until it's covered in stickers. Again, we're talking like 500 layers here, so I really hope you guys take advantage of them. So if we're gonna go back to the parts menu here, so we got a lot of options to make your car look sweet. We've got different suspensions, different ride heights. You can lower your car if you want. You can tilt it back. You can tilt it forward. There we go. So we're gonna get this baby riding high, and we can start messing with our wheels. So let's get ourselves a pair of wheels that we're really happy with. And these are our stock wheels, but again, if you want to go nuts, we can start. We've got some silly parts as well, some wood wheels, some stone wheels if that's what mows your lawn, some candy wheels for the kids, and on and on. There's just so many parts in here you can play with, but I'm going to stick with something a little more old school. There we go. This is what I think Race Jimmy would wear. And I think we're done. So you saw how quick it is to build a kart. We've got a lot of the parts that we're happy with. We could just go nuts on this for hours, but for the sake of time, I'm gonna race this bad boy. So I'm gonna go and save this boy. We're gonna call this the Skullmobile. Let's see how fast I can type this. So now that it's saved, we're going to be able to upload this, share it with our friends. We're going to allow them to remix it. So this is my kart, and I can't wait to see what you guys do.